It's going to be great for America and Americans. They have this fiat bubble and they're going to pop it. They're out there saying, oh, it's going to be great for the dollar. It's not going to be good for the dollar and the dollar industrial complex. It's going to kill the dollar industrial complex. So I'm glad that they think it's going to help the dollar. No, it's not going to help the dollar. It's going to help kill the dollar and replace it with something way better for humans and for the world, which is one open, neutral monetary standard that's very democratic, progressive, and open to everybody. So I'm pumped for it, but it's the Trojan horse thing, man. I mean, they don't know what bringing this thing into the city walls, like they think it's going to be great for the dollar. I have news for them. It's not going to be great for the dollar. A lot of the early cypherpunks were libertarians, and I thought it made sense that libertarians would be some of the earliest users of Bitcoin. Now, that's not necessarily the case. Establishment libertarians, a lot of them still hate on Bitcoin. So it's not even like a done deal, which is crazy to me. I'm like, are you serious? There's a famous libertarian event that happens up in New Hampshire where apparently people are totally out on Bitcoin now. They're into all sorts of shit coins, whatever. Like it's a bizarre thing. So, nothing's guaranteed, but it made more sense, I think, at the beginning for like more libertarian type folks, like Ron Paul type folks, to sort of grasp it. But as Bitcoin has grown, it's kind of like a mirror. It's like whatever you want to see, it is, right? It can do almost anything. So I think that it was sort of predictable that maybe the Republican Party would lean into it a little more, especially around mining. I think if there was less disinformation about mining, it would be completely bipartisan. I think the problem is that there's so much disinformation and fake news about Bitcoin mining and how it works and what it does that people who are more sort of pro-environmental regulation, which is the Democrat Party, are just reactive, just sort of allergic reaction to Bitcoin. They don't know what it is. They know it's bad for the environment. So of course we can't have that on our platform. I think that's one of the biggest reasons is all this disinformation and fake news about Bitcoin mining, which is why I dedicated a third of my talk to that and show people that this is a green thing that is saving energy and promoting green energy. But until people understand the truth, like they're just going to be out in the woods, like this is what it is. So we have the Republican Party more into it, but there's plenty of Democrats who are into it, and we'll see. I mean, eventually everybody's going to be into it, but it's just a matter of time. I also would be a little careful about like putting all your eggs in like the Trump basket or whatever. Like I get it. He's saying some nice things, but it was pretty obvious to anybody listening to that speech. He had no freaking idea what he was saying. He was like stable coins. What's that? Like he was just reading a speech someone wrote for him. And, one of the last things he did when he was in power was try to go after self-custody with Steve Mnuchin, like, midnight, like right before he left office. So we don't really know. Remember, Trump's a very national security type guy, like, law and order. Like, we don't know, we honestly don't know who's going to be better for Bitcoin. And honestly, Bitcoin doesn't care. Like, we should just keep working on what we're working on, and DC is going to DC. Like, it is what it is. There's a reason I'm not based there. Bitcoin has its own incentives that pull people into it, okay, regardless of what we do. The president of the United States or the former president or the future president, they were always going to get into Bitcoin because it's becoming a bigger global thing. I mean, it's becoming an increasingly large currency in the world. So it's going to demand people's attention in every country, and it indeed has. The CCP, the US government, every large government, the Indian government, they've already been tumbling and, grappling with it for 5+ years through different legislation and different things. I do think that the incentives behind Bitcoin are, to my little Trojan horse here, that they're pretty amazing. I mean, like strategic Bitcoin reserve, what? This is wild. I mean, we have like all these congressmen and senators and governors and Trump talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Like, dude, 10 years ago, people would have been like, you're smoking crack.
I would love for you to kind of touch on just really quick the reserve currency and how it actually, like, a lot of Americans are patriotic about like, oh, this is so great, but it actually keeps them backward. I'd love for you just to kind of touch on that for 30 seconds.
If you want the answer to that question right there and you like that spicy clip, check it out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. But if you want the full interview in its entirety, all the spicy clips put together, and you're not going to want to miss it, believe me, then check that out here. Come on, we'll see you in there. Do it.